Hi, this is Mike, and welcome back to 5 Minutes of Fantasy Sports. So today, I want to switch back to basketball and just go through and show you a few tools that I use to, I guess you could say, perform maintenance on my team. I mentioned already when I drafted, I've already cut a few players from my team. I drafted Kawhi Leonard, realized he'd be out for the rest of the season, and I added someone else. So what I usually do is I'm on the Yahoo website right now. There's a tab that says research, and if you click on that, there's something called transaction trends. So you can see, based on all the leagues people who play Yahoo Fantasy Sports are in for basketball, it shows you who's being added, who's being dropped. So you can see that the biggest one here is Josh Richardson. He got added. He had two pretty good games in a row, it looks like. And so he's got 7,000 ads and just a few drops. And then it shows you also people who are being dropped. Shake Milton, Niang, and Korkmaz were dropped as well. The Sixers are getting their players back from COVID, and that's making a difference for him, it looks like. And there's some hopeful people that added Chris Boucher after he scored 17 points and 6 rebounds. But I had Boucher last year and he was great, but Siakam was out, so he's not going to be out very long. He was just getting some rest. So what you can do is you can click on ads, you can click on drops, and it'll refresh the screen here for you. So Dort's getting added a lot from Oklahoma, Bradley from Chicago, Derrick Rose, who is that Young? Thaddeus Young, I think. Yeah, Thaddeus Young from the Spurs. These are all players that are getting added. So what you can do is use that. You can also see who's being traded, which is interesting. The most traded player right now is Chris Duarte, who I actually just dropped the other day. Derrick Rose is being traded a lot. Not a lot. There's 17 trades, it looks like, today. So the trades tab isn't quite as active. But there's also a tab, if you go up to the top, called Who's Hot. And this kind of shows you similar information, but it shows you the stats as well. So like players, this is players that are owned or on any team. Hottest players in the league for the week. So this one isn't actually sortable, but it shows you the players over here. So Steph Curry's been hot this week. And then the MVPs is an interesting tab. It shows you, based on all the Yahoo leagues, the top 500 public league teams, which players are owned by the first place team. So you can see a lot of players that I don't own. Julius Randle's in there. Bogdanovich, Steph Curry. I know I always say Bogdanovich's name wrong. It's Bojan, but I like saying Bogdan for some reason. James Harden, Steph Curry are on the list. All right, just good players. Spencer Dinwiddie. So there's some neat tools you can look at there. What I like to do if I'm looking for a specific stat, like say I'm in a matchup and steals are really close, what you can do is you can just go back to the players tab. So click on players and it takes you to the player list. I like to change it to see maybe who's hot. I'll go to the drop down tab under stats where it says last 14 days, and then I'll filter there. And after it filters, I'll click on the stat I'm looking for. So say I want some steals. KCP, Caldwell Pope from Washington, had 13 steals. So you can click on the little icon next to his name. It'll show you he had 2 steals, 4 steals, 2 steals, 2 steals, 1 steal. So actually he's pretty good about getting steals pretty consistently. He's not so great at scoring points consistently. Rebounds, it looks like he averages about 3 or 4 rebounds, a couple assists, but the steals is nice. So if you're looking for someone, that's a good way to sort. I'm pretty good on blocks, but you can do the same thing for blocks or assists or rebounds. Len from Sacramento, assists. Let's check the assists tab. Davion Mitchell from Sacramento. He has a lot of assists, and he's out on my waiver wire. So it's always good to be tinkering or looking at your team at least, and you don't necessarily have to pull the trigger on anything. Threes are readily available in today's NBA, so you can always use those as well. But yeah, just take a look and see what you've got. The other thing you can do is click Show My Team, and it'll show you where your players are as well as the players on the waiver wire. So I've got 3 players that are better than everyone out here at threes, but there's also some on Philadelphia, Cleveland, Beasley. he's someone who's available, but he's not as good as my other guys. So anyway, it's just a good way to look for players on the waiver wire. Don't be afraid to add someone. Worst thing that happens is you drop him and then he gets added by someone else. But I actually dropped Alex Caruso for Chris Duarte, and then I realized I made a big mistake dropping the GOAT, and I picked him back up, so he's back on my team. So it doesn't show on here, but you can see where I added him just yesterday. So if you make a mistake, you can always fix it pretty easily, or else the player's gone, you can try to trade for him back. But anyway, that's my advice for today, how to use the players in the waiver wire in Yahoo.